Well, welcome back everybody once again to the single-seater Motorsport Manager playthrough. And we're nearing the end. We're into the final straight of Season 4 now. And we're still somehow holding on to 4th place. 6th looks, I wouldn't say a certainty, because we all know what can happen. But it's looking very likely. And hopefully we'll be able to hold on to it. While I'm resigned to the fact that we may not finish in the points again this season, I'm still holding out a little bit of hope that it's possible. You never know. But we keep pushing forward anyway, and you never know what's going to happen, do you? Right, next driver we've scouted, Mikhailovic. Pretty good marketability, he's a pretty good driver. He's got a dodgy neck, but that's temporary. Club Goer has boosted his marketability, so his base is actually 64. No, it's not, because it's got stock size. It's actually 59. And he hates leading. Yeah, he looks like an okay driver, but not the kind we're going for in the long term. So, sorry, buddy, but we don't really want you. We've got a few more scouting, so we'll see what they come back with, and then we'll add some more to the queue if we need. I think Moreno is going to be the most likely, though. Apparently there was a favourite button that I just completely missed because I'm an idiot. So I'm just going to find that quickly. Moreno. There we go. There is a favorited button. So how do we sort by favorited drivers? There it is. Okay. Sorry, Foxworth. That is incredibly simple. Right. So Moreno is likely to be a stopgap in place of Dreyfus until Monroe. I'm going to get so confused between those two if they're both in the team next year. Until he gets, hopefully, progresses enough to be in the car. Right. I don't think I can really spend anything else at the moment. We've got a couple of sponsor offers coming in, though. That might give us enough money to make some developments. So let's take a look at the sponsors. Fixed payments, 100,000 per race, 150,000, 500,000 up front. Okay, I want to go for a short term. That is going to be more money. No, it's not. No. Brutus Tyres, welcome aboard. I don't want to sign up to huge, long contracts because I've got to bear in mind, like I mentioned in my other, we'll leave that one for a couple of clicks till we get a third offer. I've got to bear in mind, like I mentioned in the GT, there's only 3 races left of this season, so we don't want the sponsorship to go too far into next season because we should have much better marketability next year. So we've got to keep that in mind at all times. Hopefully we should have some more sponsors. Are these the kind that are going to offer something up front? Yes. Okay. So I think we can afford to put maybe one more part on the car. Haven't touched suspension at all, so let's move that along a little bit. Bearing in mind that this is all something that will help us next year as well, because it increases the base of the car. So let's get the suspension moved along a bit. Having the same suspension for 2 seasons in a row would be pretty embarrassing. So we'll get that built, and then hopefully we can knock off that 400,000 with a new sponsor. Right, what are we improving then? So improving the brakes. We're nearly 100% with those engines, so we'll keep an eye on that. We'll probably be able to tick that off before the next race. Still quite a bit of performance to go on the gearbox. Reliability, we're working on those new rear wings. How much left in the brakes? Quite a lot still. Okay, we'll keep the brakes running, and we'll try and switch to the rear wing at some point. Just try and increase the performance of that. Right, let's get on with it. As I say, I'm really not expecting much. Hopefully we can have a wet race maybe between now and the end of the season. Would be a good chance for some points. And a Canty. No, there's nothing favourable there at all, so he's not particularly interested. Let's just see who we potentially could scout. Let's look at some unemployed, shall we? These are potential stopgaps, but if we find someone good enough that we can put in for a couple of seasons, then I maybe will. Because Monroe's got a long old career ahead of him. He's only 18 at the moment. So it could take a long time for him to get to his full potential. Right, second sponsor slot. 100,000 up front, and we'll get paid 75,000 for 16th or above. Or we take the 900,000 and then we can take a target of 13th or above, which I think is achievable. So at least that's a little bit in the bank. It's only 100,000 difference, but it is a long old contract. We risk taking 10th or above for 400,000, but it's only 4 races. Here's a bonus for Japan. Are we going to Japan? No. Okay, it's a long old sponsorship, but I'm going to take it. I think Golden Tiger Bank, 200,000 for 13th. At least we should be able to do that a couple of times between now and the end of the season. It'll probably only be 100,000 per race, because even in qualifying we're going to struggle to get 13th. So yeah, it's money in the bank anyway, and it means we can continue to develop parts. I probably will put a second suspension on the design list. It will take us into the red, but not too far, so I can probably deal with that. Right, still not 100%, 98. Those rear wings hopefully will be ready. I think this is one of the races. No, I think it's the last two that we're going to benefit from those rear wings. That's why we built them as early as we did. Right, we got a new suspension finished. We're going to stick a second one on now. Max speed. And I hate those risk levels. And we'll go medium speed corners to max. Okay. Right, let's get that built. And onwards. We are 100%, 98. Don't know why I'm asking. We haven't advanced any time at all. Right, we've got another scouted driver. Cassiani. Just utter garbage. Nope. Definitely not. And we're still at 98. What are you doing, guys? Come on. Just get it to 100, please. It's not that hard. Can we not get to 100? We should be able to. Okay. Right, we'll switch reliability from, I guess, that rear wing over to the suspension. Try and get that ready. Won't be ready for this race, I don't think, but hopefully it'll be ready for the 2 final races. I think those 2 suspension parts are going to be the last upgrades of the season. We need to start taking any money we can off the sponsors and try and save it for next year. There's only so much you can do. If we build new parts now, the chances are, after this race, the chances are they won't be ready to use this season, in which case it'll be a bit of a waste. So I know it will improve the car for next season, but I'd rather have the money in the bank, to be fair, than building new parts. Right, second suspension. They're just not changing, are they, from 98? Right, we're going to move over to the other suspension. Anything else that could do with a little boost? Let's switch over to those brakes as well. And go back to 1010. Thank you very much. Okie doke. Right, I think we're almost ready. And say a nice little bit of rain in the race would be nice, just to give ourselves a chance. We've certainly got a lot more chance than we do in the GT series at the moment. I'm seriously questioning the viability of that series at the moment, both on my mental health and from a practical, achievable goal. Okay, right, we're ready to go then. We will take on Golden Tiger, because hopefully we can get 13th. We finished 13th in the last 2 races, so I'm pretty confident we should be able to achieve that. Okay, I can use one of those rear wings. I'm not too comfortable using the other one just yet. Now it's got 80% reliability, so we shall use that, and we'll use it on Ekka's car, because she's generally better than Dreyfus at the moment. She's still in 5th in the World Championship, Ekka. That's pretty staggering, considering it's our first season in this championship. Can we risk that other rear wing? It is a massive improvement. Screw it, let's risk it. We'll give Ekka the better wing, and we'll give Dreyfus the more reliable one. 2 new suspension components, definitely not ready to use. Okay, we're ready to go then. I shall get practice underway, and I'll be with you for, unfortunately, a dry qualifying. No rain this weekend, but we'll do the best job we can. So I'll see you qualifying shortly. Okay, we're into qualifying then. Pretty good practice. Not too bad for Ekka, or Munro, should I say, driving Ekka's car. 94%, and Dreyfus, again, 99. Cannot get 100. Just not happening. But anyway, we got to level 2 on Super Softs and Race Trim, so a nice 10% boost for the race there. Super Softs should help us a little bit in qualifying. If we can somehow get 13th, then it will be a little bit of money in the bank. But I'm not holding my breath, to be honest. I think we all know where we're going to be. And it's going to be somewhere between 15th and last, depending on whether the drivers pull out a special lap. Dreyfus has, let's not forget, pulled out an absolute stonker once before this season. So it's possible that she could find something, but we'll have to see. It's a lovely track, by the way. I love the design of this. Such a cool looking track. But Dreyfus crossed the line first time round. It's a 37.5. And it's a 36.8 for Ekka then. A really, really poor lap from Dreyfus. Or a very good one for Ekka. We will find out. But I think that was more a great lap from Ekka. Dreyfus should be able to improve. She's got the better setup as well. So I'm hoping she can find a little bit more from that. Weight stripping, by the way, we took a little bit off. Gained 75 performance points on each car. So, again, we're trying to run that line of 80%. What we can knock down to 80, we will. And not really going below it. Because as we saw last time, we struggled quite badly with Ekka. And that is now above 80%, that engine, even with 3 points knocked off. We didn't go to 4 points, which is the problem we did last time, just to try and ensure that she doesn't have any problems in the race. Right, we'll of course go out for a second run. Provisionally, Ekka is in 16th, Dreyfus in 20th after the first couple of runs. So we will send Dreyfus out again on a fresh set of tyres. And we will do the same with Ekka just behind her. Hopefully, Ekka can find, Dreyfus can find a bit more time. Hopefully Ekka can as well, of course. But that 13th place is around 4 tenths off. That's a lot to improve on a single lap. And the field's not too spread around here, to be honest. There's a lot of tracks that it's over 2 seconds. So, you never know. We could have a half-decent race here, we'll see. But they're on to the laps now then. And we'll keep an eye on the sector times. As Dreyfus comes through the first sector. 8 tenths down. And Ekka 6 tenths down. So Ekka quicker than Dreyfus. Not quite sure. 1.4 seconds down for Dreyfus. So it looks like she might improve, but not by much. Let's have a look. No, she goes slightly slower. Ekka down in the 37s as well then. And it's 17th and 20th. Our drivers just don't seem to be able to improve on the second run, despite the track being a lot grippier. And we lose out because of it. Everybody else improves and we don't. Not quite sure why that is. Maybe we're just getting lucky with the auto warm-up the first time around. But, hey, we know where we're at. You know, that 1-2 in the first race has made the whole season. So I'm not too bothered at this point. Let's just see if we can have a good race from here. Dreyfus, we're going to go for that engine expert again, and we're going to go for race trim so she gets the benefit on both the super softs and the softs. Hopefully we can get that 13th place and get 100,000. It hardly seems worth it, does it? But every little helps at this point. And I think we're going to split the strategies again. Eka will start on the super softs. They're going to last 8 to 10 laps. Super softs 12 to 14. So there's... I think I might start both cars on the softs and see if we can do a one-stop strategy. Let's give it a go. We can do a one-stop on 2 sets of softs. It's worth a go, isn't it? Maybe. Don't know. That's the beauty of this. We don't have a clue until we try it out. We can always pit one car early and put them on the super softs. Or if we suddenly are able to go a lot further into the race than we thought, then we can also put the super softs on and maybe do a one stop on those. But it looks like it'll be pretty borderline. At least if we start on the softs, we've got the choice. So we're underway then for the third to last race. I was going to say, I was trying to think of a word for the one before penultimate there, but if it exists, I don't know it. Right, we're going to have to keep pushing pretty early on to try and get these soft tyres up to temperature. Looks like 4 other soft tyre runners around us. So if we can get to the head of those, like Eka has. Eka already up to 13th place. So made a good start. Dreyfus made a pretty good start as well, taking a couple of positions there, up to 17th. And we'll just keep an eye on everything. Let's speed it up a bit. I think I'm going to go to 3 speed for some of these races, just to speed everything up for everybody. Because a 35-40 minute episode, 50 episodes in, is quite a long time. I appreciate that, and I'm sure as much as any of you enjoy it, I'm sure there's some of you that skip just to see certain bits of the weekend. So we're going to go up to 3 speed. I'm sure we can manage it at this point. So our 2 drivers have dropped back to 17th and 19th. Tyres still not quite up to temperature. We backed off on the fuel just to save the engine. To be honest, Dreyfus, we can probably stay on high engine mode because of the the engine thingy. I can't remember the name of that perk now, but looky after engine go softly. That might be it. I'm pretty sure that's it. Nailed that. Right, tyres coming up to temperature now. So we'll just make sure they don't overheat. And at the moment, looking like a one-stop on the soft tyres. I think we can do this. We'll see. We've got to get to about, I would say, lap 8 to 10 on this first stint. With, no, what am I talking about? At least 10 to 12, if we've got any chance of doing so. So if by about lap 8 we're still above 50%, we can probably do this. Just got to keep an eye on the fuel. Dreyfus has already dropped a lap on Eka. So I think even though we can push, I think we should just knock it down a little bit just to make sure we got the fuel. We'll probably overfuel Dreyfus quite heavily in the final stint, just because we know we can push the car that little bit more. Although Eka's engine, well, as I say that, Eka's just dropped 4%. But Eka's engine holding up a lot better than it did last time, surprisingly. I mean, it was pointed out that the reason it wore a lot quicker was because Dreyfus had that perk, but it did drop ridiculously quickly in comparison. And this race so far demonstrates that the engine wearing a lot more evenly this time. Although she's not pushing as well, which helps. So 16th, 18th at the moment. We're running along with the soft tyre runners. We seem to be keeping pace with them. So there's a few cars ahead. Probably Nightingale, Batista and Tyler are 3 we can target in the second stint. So we do seem to have the pace to race everybody today, which is good news. So it's just all about the strategy now. So we can continue to push. The tyres are okay. They're getting pretty low at the moment though. And I'm a little bit worried about a one-stop. I'm very worried at the moment about a one-stop. I mean, Dreyfus can probably do another 2 laps. That would mean that she's got to do 14 on a second set of softs. I don't think it's going to work, you know. Yeah, the tyre wear's adjusted itself a little bit. 11 to 13 rather than 12 and 14. I think we do 2 stints on the super softs with Dreyfus. Let's go for a 2-stop then. I'll put 10 laps of fuel in and go pretty hard. Yep. Car looking okay, so we can get underway. We can see with Eka just how much longer the tyres last, but I don't know that they're going to, you know. Good stop from Dreyfus, she's back out. Put a bit of extra fuel in so we can probably run in high mode. Eka, the 1-stop's not going to work, you know. So we're going to do a 2-stop and we're going to go 2 stints on the super softs for Eka as well. A little bit less fuel in. And we'll be back underway again. That's a shame. But it was worth a go. We just seem to really struggle with tyre wear. Good grief, it's cold. 4 degrees out there. Where are we? I can't remember what track this is. What track are we at? No, I don't think it's going to help me, is it? Sydney. Excuse... Anybody who knows about Australia, or just let me know, in Sydney, does it ever get down to 4 degrees? That's pretty cold. Actually, no, it's not pretty cold. It's really freaking cold. Well, good for the tyres. Even pushing Dreyfus doesn't seem to be overheating them too much. So that's good news. We are still 19th and 20th, though. We'll see if we come out ahead of these people that have just pitted. Dreyfus does. Eka comes out just behind. John Stottier and Stramby is on the back of Dreyfus here. So the 3 guys that started on super softs have gone to softs. So this is the stint we need to take advantage of it, really. So I'm going to go with high engine mode for a little bit for Eka as well. Engine seems to be holding up okay. Gearbox is pretty worn. And Eka's reliability has now dropped below Dreyfus, so we've got to keep an eye on it. Tyres, yeah, we're getting too hot now. Let's go back to neutral. We're far too late on doing that. Dreyfus, I might go back to conserve. Even though with a 2-stop we should have plenty of tyre life, we still got to just watch them a little bit. And I think Eka, we will go back to normal fuel mode now. Dreyfus, we might as well keep pushing, to be fair. Those tyres have now dropped back down very quickly. So they're going to be a lot easier to manage in this race because it's so cold. Dreyfus making progress. She's got 2 cars, Tyler and D'Oster, ahead that she could really do getting past as soon as possible. Because I would guess that those 2 are going to be on super softs in the final stint as well. So any time we can get on them would be useful. But Dreyfus just being muscled out, unfortunately, by pretty much everybody. And Dreyfus running really low on tyre life now. And with 10 laps to go, I don't even think we can do 2-stop on 2 sets of super softs. Just hasn't gone far enough. If we pit on this lap, it's going to be too much. We're going to have to go softs again, unfortunately. Let's put a little bit of extra fuel in so that we can push. Car looking okay. And we'll pit her nice and early and try and get the undercut. I think that's the best thing to do in this traffic. Eka should be... let's go to push. Tyres are getting very cold now. And we'll push out of the box with Dreyfus because she'll be on the soft tyres, so they'll take a bit more heat up. Yeah, Eka should be okay for the 2 stops. She should be able to go on to super softs. They seem to be holding up a bit better on her car. Dreyfus just absolutely destroyed them for some reason. Not very useful, but we'll work with it. Right. She's in fresh air. She can push a little bit harder now. We've got fuel on board to do so. Car's looking good. So hopefully she can undercut some of these guys. So 8 laps to go. What's Eka done on these? She's only done 6 laps. I think she's going to have to go softs as well. Let's try it. It'll be 8 laps after this. See if we can look after them a little bit better. Let's go a little bit aggressive. At least we've then hedged our bets between the two cars. What are we doing to these super softs? We're keeping them perfectly in the zone and they're just disintegrating. I guess it's too cold. They're not getting in the working window. I mean, obviously the little chart says it is, but I'd imagine it'd be very difficult to get tyre warm up in these conditions. To get them in the working range. Eka falling off badly towards the end of that stint. And she's going to come back out quite a long way behind Dreyfus then. So Dreyfus, the undercut working well. She's obviously going to have a lot older tyres than everybody when they come back out. But it depends how late they pit. So quite a lot of the upper midfield coming in now. The guys we're racing directly, not really. Dreyfus couldn't quite get out ahead of Diostra, and Diostra has gone onto the super softs then. So as we expected, those 3 runners, although Batista's gone on to the softs, so still split. Not quite sure what the best strategy is going to be here. We're overheating these soft tyres, so we're going to go back to neutral. We've got way too much fuel for some reason. I think it's because I'm not taking on board what we're leaving in the car at the end of the stop. I think that's why we're so badly overfueled. Dreyfus, engine gearbox look okay. I don't want to push it too much though, to be fair. Let's go back to neutral and Eka to make sure those super softs get to the end. Super softs working a lot better this time round. Everybody stopped. And we wound up 16th and 20th. It's not good, is it? We're just about racing these guys. I mean, Eka's nowhere. She's absolutely nowhere. I don't quite know what we've done wrong this race. Obviously our car's not up to scratch, but I didn't think we'd be this bad towards the end of the season. We really were giving people a race at the beginning of the year, and we've just tailed off completely. So a lot of work to do next year, but hopefully nobody behind us in the championship has scored points today. That would be a real help. Let's push for Dreyfus just to get those tyres back up. She seems to have damaged a little bit of the front wing. She's up to 14th, so a couple of cars have made a third stop. So she's got a chance here of 13th. Leclerc is a long way ahead, but does have car issues. But with a lap and a half to go, I don't know that we're going to be able to hold on to this. And definitely won't be able to go forward. Right, let's push on Eka's car. Engine and gearbox looking okay. It's front wings that have been the issue around here. But not much you can do about that. Right, come on, Dreyfus. You may not be in 13th place, but at least hold on to 14th. Wouldn't be too bad a result keeping all these guys behind. You see, we can race once we're ahead and later into the race. At the beginning, our drivers just get muscled out, unfortunately. Dreyfus is going to cross the line to come home in 14th then. It's not too bad. It's pretty awful for Eka down in 19th. And it's the same that we've been seeing for the rest of the season, really struggling at times. And our car just dropping away from the field. Our car may just have been here the whole season. Early season we got good results because of reliability. And maybe some of the other teams have developed, which has just dropped us back a little bit. So we've dropped down 6th and 10th in the driver's standings. And in the constructors, we have finally lost 4th then, as Team Kirov go a point ahead of us. Crucially though, MRT Valbuna in P7 have not gained any points. I don't think Ruiz have either. So still an outside chance of 4th, but it's looking unlikely now. 6th, we can fight for, and 5th we can fight for, and 6th we should definitely get. I can't see MRT doubling their points tally in the final 2 races, but It's looking okay. If we get that 6th place, that'll be a good amount of prize money to keep the chairman happy, and that's a pretty good result for our first season in this championship, to be fair. So again, it's painful. It's necessary though, and we can take it because of the great results we got essentially at the beginning of the season has meant we can just ride on those for the whole year. So this point system does work out sometimes. If you don't get points early on and your car's nowhere, it doesn't help at all because you're never going to score any points. We lose a bit of money there. Hopefully we can sort that out next year. But if you do get good early results, it means you can outscore where your car should be, which is what's happened this year. So it can work both ways, really, the point system. But that's going to be it from today. Just 2 races to go after this one. Again, leave your comments and help on plans for next season, drivers for next season, what we should maybe concentrate on next year. And someone also let me know what kind of prize money to expect for 6th place, just so we can plan ahead and see what possibly HQ upgrades we could make next year as well. But if you did enjoy the episode, don't forget that like button, it means the world. If you are for some reason new to the channel and joining in at episode, what are we now, 56, then of course you can go back and watch the rest of them, but you can also subscribe to see some other Motorsport Manager and F1 2017 content. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.